Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So obviously episode 19 is airing in just a couple of days now, so I wanted to focus on the trailer, and actually more specifically one aspect of the trailer and one storyline that people have been wondering about, and that is the Oceanside, right? After episode 16, technically that whole part there, part 2, ended on this massive cliffhanger that seemed to leave the fate of Oceanside up in the air, and a lot of fans after these first 2 episodes here, were a little disappointed, thinking that maybe we were going to learn the fate of Oceanside in those 2 episodes, and we never did. But we did learn something in episode 18, and that was that Aaron and Jerry and the rest would be traveling to Oceanside to let them in on the plan and whatnot. So anyways, before we go any further, obviously please be aware that this video will contain spoilers for episode 17 and 18. I hope you don't mind that I said whatever about Aaron and Jerry. I figured it's a minor spoiler because those episodes really aren't focused on that anyways, and it was such a small scene in episode 18, like you may have even missed it upon watching it for the first time. So, but also make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Now, episode 19 is an episode that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Obviously, the title for the episode is Variant. This is likely going to be focused on the variant walkers. Obviously, we saw in the trailer, this was actually a big moment in the trailer, right? At Comic-Con was seeing these variant walkers. It really made people really excited for the season. And, that is a question I will have. Like, I'll say that regarding all of this is that there's a big question out there regarding, the variant walkers and how much they will play a role for the rest of the season. I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't know how much of a role they're going to play, only because there's so much stuff that they have to do, and they've been dealing with walkers around, right? And the walkers have just been sort of normal. And so I imagine they're going to be treating it like, well, this wave of walkers in this region were basically like the same walkers from Atlanta that they're dealing with, right? Like that variant of walker. And I don't know how much they're going to play a role in everything. We'll have to wait and see. It definitely will be a criticism of mine if it ends up being something like that variant was just insane. They make it out, and then Aaron doesn't really even tell anyone about it, right? Like maybe they mentioned something, but it's not really that big of a deal because of other stuff going on. And then the story just sort of ends there, and that's it. Like, I would like these walkers to actually play a bigger role for the rest of the season. So, if there's stuff happening at the Commonwealth, well, the walkers that they're dealing with can climb walls and open doors and stuff. Like, I want this to be a thing that's going to continue for the rest of the season. And if it doesn't, then I am disappointed. And the reason why I'm a little concerned about it right now is just because obviously the show's ending in a little over a month. And in the spin-offs next year, I don't know if they're going to be dealing with that necessarily, right? Just because if you think of where Rick and Michonne are, I mean, they will be dealing with walkers, but I don't know if it's going to be in the same way because that show is going to be more focused on Rick and Michonne and the Civic Republic, right? Daryl will definitely be dealing with these variant walkers for sure, but he's going to be dealing with a more aggressive one. Like, those ones can run, they scream, and they'll like break doors down. Like that's definitely more terrifying, and I'm way more excited for those walkers than these walkers here on the show. But Isle of the Dead, they're going to New York, Manhattan. They're going to be on rooftops, and I think more of the thing there with those walkers is basically, it's just that there's so many of them because there's supposed to be 1 to 2 million basically in the streets, and it's crowded everywhere, and everyone has to live on rooftops. And so this is really our only chance here to see these season 1, sort of variant walkers, and it would just really suck if it was basically just a one-time thing here in this episode. And I really do hope that we do see more here because it's making it exciting, right? It's making it very exciting. So anyways, I think what's also exciting is sort of the overall goal here, because this episode, again, there's going to be other stuff. I've already talked about that in my trailer breakdown. I'll likely do another video tomorrow or the day after talking about some stuff that could happen in episode 19, but that's going to be more regarding like the other things, right? Like Daryl and Eugene and trying to escape the Commonwealth, Pamela's wrath, and just all of that, like just that Commonwealth storyline. But for this video, I really want to focus on Aaron's storyline here. And it seems like Aaron, Elijah, Jerry, Lydia, they're traveling to the Oceanside to deliver news on this plan that they have to take down the Commonwealth, and just sort of, their overall plan with that and Alexandria and whatnot. And then on their journey, I believe they're going to stay at this castle here, which obviously, staying there overnight, you're going to be dealing with this walker variant. We do see Aaron sort of say, I heard stories about these walkers or whatever. I still kind of say, I hope he's delivering that line after the walker variant sort of, runs through the castle and they deal with it. just because it's so coincidental to deliver a line like that, and then all of a sudden those walkers are there that night, right? I know it's probably going to be done that way, and I know it's probably done in a way where it's, it's basically like sort of a horror movie. Like in horror movies, like they talk about these scary things that are going to happen, or these stories that they heard, and all of a sudden it's going to happen that night kind of thing, right? Like it seems to be done in that way. I just think, in terms of focusing on the realistic part of it, it's not that realistic to happen in that way, right? But obviously sometimes you just kind of have to ignore that and enjoy the story, because we are watching a story with zombies, right? So like it seems like how all of this is going to go down is, again, they're on their way to the Oceanside, they're going to stay in this castle, and I believe the walker variants are just going to simply attack them. I think they're just going to be staying there, and I think this walker that we see right here climbing over these walls is basically going to attack the castle. And I think I don't think it's going to happen immediately. I do think it's going to be more of a nighttime thing. Like they're just kind of, they're staying in their castle, they're staying in a room, and then they notice like the doorknobs turning and they're wondering what the hell's going on here. And then the walkers just like get in kind of thing. And then they sort of deal with that. There's going to be a lot of, mayhem here. And I do believe that there will be a character death. As of now, I'm just going to go with Elijah. I really have this strong feeling that he's actually going to die here. It just feels like setup because of his relationship with Lydia. Like this relationship kind of, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, because it did kind of make sense. Like technically any relationship comes out of nowhere. But it just really felt like when you look at the trailer and you see both of them sort of struggling to deal with these walkers, it really just sort of, it hints at one of those characters dying. We don't really see Elijah later on. We don't really see Lydia as well. So Lydia could die in this episode as well. Like I'm not going to ignore that possibility. Maybe both of them die, right? Like that would be absolutely insane. But I could totally see both of those characters dying because, well, what else are you going to do with their stories in the future, right? Like I could just see both of the characters dying. Lydia just had this heart-to-heart, moment with Daryl and with Carol. Yeah, Lydia could totally die. Maybe she dies trying to save Elijah. It would be pretty fitting if Lydia did die from a walker, right? Like, especially this variant walker, one that's a little more alive, because maybe she's thinking, or maybe people think in general that it's a whisperer, but obviously it isn't. I'm just going to say that it's interesting that we got a lot of this foreshadowing recently, right? It kind of feels like maybe one of those two characters are going to die, or maybe both of them. It very much seems like set up here. And I do think that's probably how the episode's going to end. I do believe Aaron and Jerry are going to make it out. Like, they will make it out for sure. They're going to get away. They're going to leave. And then I just think that, yeah, it's going to be one of those really crazy, phenomenal episodes. I will say afterwards, like, do they make it to the Oceanside? I could totally see that being the ending here. And I think it would honestly make this episode one of the most insane, crazy episodes of the season, or really of the last couple of years, right? I'm not going to go and say that this episode's going to be the best one of the last 5 years, 6, 7, 8 years or something like that. But I really do wonder, in terms of moments, if they really want to make it just insane, if they could actually make it just such a scary episode. Because if you just think about the craziness that can happen, ignore all the Commonwealth stuff, but just focus on Aaron and Jerry, dealing with this variant walker here. Imagine if Lydia and Elijah die, and then the episode ends with Aaron and Jerry, just barely escaping all of this. They have walker guts all over them, whatever, and they finally make it to Oceanside, only to find Oceanside basically done. Maybe there's a few survivors, but that's basically it, because Lance and the Commonwealth, obviously we saw at the end of episode 16, it seemed like he was going to wipe out the community, so maybe Luke is alive still, but it would be absolutely crazy. It would just be such a dark episode that I think people would really, really love. And that's why I say, like, would it be the best one of the season so far if that was the case? Definitely. The best one of season 10, most definitely. I don't know about season 9, because obviously there was some good episodes, but I'm just saying this episode has the potential to being a really, really good episode, one that we haven't seen in a couple years here, and I'm excited. Obviously, I'm not going to have that high of expectation. I'm going to try to like calm my expectations down here a bit, but I'm just excited to see what's going to happen here, because there's a lot that they can do here to set a lot of stuff up, and yeah, I'm just wondering if there is going to be some bigger deaths here. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below, and I also wanted to mention, thank you guys so much for joining me on Twitch last Sunday, or I guess last Saturday night going into Sunday. I'm definitely going to be doing that again this Saturday and every single Saturday night, going into Sunday, just awaiting that new Walking Dead episode. And I'm very excited for this Sunday, obviously, so definitely if you guys wanted to follow me there, the channel name is Appetite for the Dead. I hope to see you guys there, and yeah, that was just a lot of fun. But anyways, definitely post your thoughts down below on episode 19 and all your predictions, your death predictions, things that you see happening, regarding the variant walkers, characters, and maybe with Oceanside, you know, like, are we going to see Oceanside in that episode? So yeah, push your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this all season long, and yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.